It's Friday. Yeah, Fridays. One of the top 7 days of the week. If you had to rank them, you got to put Friday in the top 7. You really do. I'm Dan Kuntz, 28th day of April 2023, and this is Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. Yesterday I made a crucial error in the beginning of the program. I was in such a great mood for the beginning of the Apple Blossom Festival. I promised you, the viewers, a 5-star show on Thursday, and about 2 minutes into the show, I had made about 5 mistakes, and that was into that. So I'm not going to promise you a 5-star show today because I rarely live up to that. 4 stars. Going to be a 4-star show today. Beautiful weather, gorgeous, 46 degrees. Yesterday was just beautiful. Today is going to be nice. It's going to be very warm tomorrow. It's going to be just perfect weather for the Youth Parade. Don't forget, if you can't make it, we'll be televising the Youth Parade live right here on the NCW Live channel. We'll take to the air at about 11 o'clock. Looking forward to that. In any event, we got about 3.5 more days of this. Today, tomorrow, and pretty much most of Sunday before the weather changes a little bit on Monday. A couple of iffy days in the early part of next week, and then more sunshine and warm temperatures. Next week's forecast, they're not really sure what may happen. But I'm not complaining. This weekend's looking good. Details are coming up. There's a lot of news to get to. Very busy. It's been a very busy week in the newsroom. That will continue. We'll have the latest headlines for you today. Seahawks, couple of surprises in the NFL draft. We'll talk about that and get reaction from Coach Carroll and the GM, John Schneider, from the Seahawks, what they were doing in Kansas City yesterday. And, of course, the Kraken can move on to round 2 of the Stanley Cup playoffs if they beat the Avalanche tonight in Seattle. I will be watching that. And in the back half of the program, we are going to catch up with our good friend Pat Quinn Williams. Pat helps organize the local Walk MS here in Wenatchee. Her husband Rich was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis like 50 years ago. He's doing great, by the way. He's on a drug regimen that's keeping his symptoms at bay. And it's the annual walk to help raise funds to alleviate multiple sclerosis, and Pat will be joining us in the back half of the program. And Mike McKnight's got an opinion. Let's go. Let's see what we got here. Let's, of course, start out with the Wenatchee Heights camera as we're looking right down the middle of the Wenatchee Valley, and the Columbia River is up there, of course. With all this snow melt in the upper elevations up in British Columbia, that's where we get a lot of our water, of course. It is melting rather rapidly with this sunny and warm weather, and that is causing all of the rivers and streams and creeks to start running high and running fast. And by the way, that water is cold. So you can see how high the Columbia is. It's supposed to be high this time of year, and it is, the Columbia River and the rest of the Wenatchee Valley. Let's see what, there you go. Saddle Rock is looking good. The camera that we're using is actually one of the 2 cameras that's on the roof of the Cascadian in downtown Wenatchee, but we zipped it around and looking right at beautiful Saddle Rock. And behind Saddle Rock is Mission Ridge, and a friendly reminder, they're done this weekend. For you skiers and snowboarders, one of the longest seasons on record. Something like 135 days of skiing and snowboarding at Mission Ridge, but they're done for the year after this weekend. Beautiful view of Saddle Rock. Of course, it's called Saddle Rock because it's a giant rock. To Leavenworth we go. Good morning to Leavenworth. Lots of green there. Lots of sunshine. By the way, quick heads up. Had a couple of friends who were up in the Twisp, Winthrop area yesterday, and they said it was pretty smoky. They're doing some controlled burns in around the Mazama area up there, and so they said it was kind of smoky up there. Just want to let you know if you're heading up to the Methow area, might deal with some dirty air there. And to Billy Goat. Good morning to Billy Goat. They got a few more clouds up there. The system that came through had us a few clouds yesterday. Most of the clouds were relegated to the north, and you can see there's still some high clouds in the upper elevations around the Okanagan, Omak, Pateros area. Not so much down here in the Wenatchee Valley, just a couple of high clouds, and that's it. Beautiful view from Billy Goat. I mentioned with the warm weather, the rivers are running high, and by golly, they're going to continue to run high because they had a nice slow melt, which is just perfect. But now, with the sudden warming of the weather, all this melted snow has got to go someplace. So there are a couple of rivers within our viewing area that are going to get pretty close to right to the banks in the next few weeks, which is prone to happen this year. But you know, if you're going to be, it's going to be warm this weekend. But you want to avoid hopping into any natural body of water because that natural body of water is going to be cold and it doesn't take very long for you to get into some serious difficulties if that's the case. Just a quick heads up with the snowmelt. The rivers are going to be cooking, my friends. From the National Weather Service, here we go. We hit 73 yesterday. We're going to go to 79 today, or close to 80 anyway. 56 for the overnight low tonight. Very mild. Saturday could be a record breaker in a couple of ways. Our forecast high is 86. Our record high for April 29th. April 29th tomorrow. Our record high is 84 degrees. That was set back in 1987. We could break that. And that 59-degree overnight low Saturday into Sunday morning, that could also be a record for the warmest overnight low. So we could break a couple of records on Saturday. Outside of that, it's just going to be beautiful. Slightly cooler on Sunday as the ridge begins to shift towards western Montana. That's going to start on Saturday afternoon. So it's going to be amplified at its most on Saturday afternoon into Sunday. And then on Sunday, it's going to start moving a little bit to the west of us. And that means we could cool down a little bit, considerably cooler. Clouds on Monday, but that's going to be an anomaly. Right now, if the computer models pan out, looks like we're going to have a pretty nice week for apple blossom next week as well, with highs above normal, 83 with sunshine on Tuesday and Wednesday. Bring it on, folks. I'm looking. 7 minutes after the hour, I'm going to take a break, and when we come back, we'll have your headlines. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Life Channel.
In the market for an RV? Do not buy any RV before you shop Click It RV. Because Click It RV has just acquired over 300 2022 fifth wheels, travel trailers, toy haulers, and motorhomes. And everyone is just $199 over invoice. And take advantage of 0 down, no payments for 90 days, and low interest financing. Plus guaranteed lowest price and lifetime warranty. So don't miss the Click It RV Do Not Buy sale. Going on now at all 5 locations, including right here in Moses Lake.
I had had a seizure in the middle of the night, and they rushed me to the hospital and decided to induce labor to try to get the baby out. The outpouring of love and support I got from Confluence Health. My coworkers coming to the ICU to be with me. For me, it's the work family. It's just incredible to have support no matter what I'm going through in my personal life, my own health.
The Lake Chelan Rotary Club invites you to experience Cycle Chelan, held June 24th, 2023. Pick your thrill from 4 rides: the Metric Century Challenge, Cycle Divino, the Lake Loop, or the Butte Blast. All profits from Cycle Chelan are used to support student scholarships and other charitable activities of the Lake Chelan Rotary Club. Cycle Chelan 2023, a route for every rider. Pick your thrill today.
Beautiful morning, bountiful sunshine, 46 degrees. We're going to be well into the 70s today with sunshine all day, mid-80s. Possibly some record-breaking temperatures on Saturday, a little bit cooler on Sunday, slightly unsettled on Monday. It's 9 minutes after the hour. A family's lawsuit against the Eastmont School District is going to be held now in King County Court rather than in Douglas County. That's where it was originally filed. Yesterday, the Washington Court of Appeals ruled in favor of the family. The family asked to move the trial to King County because of repeated delays in Douglas County. The child in the case fell off of playground equipment at Kenroy Elementary back in 2014, suffered a concussion and neck injuries. Her family sued the Eastmont School District in 2015, saying the equipment was unsafe. Now, the case has been languishing in Douglas County because of the COVID-19 pandemic, and Judge Brian Huber agreed to change the venue to King County in order to speed up the process. The appellate court said that the trial courts have broad discretion to grant venue change requests, and they overruled the school district's request to have the case heard locally. No trial date, though, has been set. Over 100 pounds of illegal drugs were seized near Orrville. According to the U.S. Attorney for the Eastern District of Washington, they announced that arrest earlier this week, or at least the seizure anyway. In total, 161,000 fentanyl-laced pills, approximately 80 pounds of methamphetamine, 6 pounds of heroin, and more than 2 pounds of cocaine were seized. The Bureau of Indian Affairs Division of Drug Enforcement, the Drug Enforcement Administration, the North Central Washington Narcotics Task Force, and other agencies executed a series of search warrants on April 19th as part of an investigation into the trafficking of multiple pound quantities of controlled substances. A significant portion of the seized drugs were believed to be headed to the Colville Reservation, and several individuals have been charged in connection with the investigation. By the way, the case, as you might imagine, is ongoing. A former Waterville physician's assistant has pled guilty in U.S. District Court to lying to the FBI. 72-year-old Eldon Lane Weber, retired from medical practice after providing clinical services in Waterville, Soap Lake, and elsewhere. He was indicted in 2019 on 4 federal counts of unlawfully dispensing oxycodone and other painkillers from his medical practice in Soap Lake without conducting a proper examination. According to the plea agreement he signed on Wednesday, Lane Weber made false statements to the FBI agents investigating his case, telling them that he checked a patient's vital signs, quote, 99.99% of the time, end quote, before he issued a prescription. His own records show this was not true. Lane Weber did not admit to unlawful drug prescriptions, but his plea exposes him to a likely 2-year probationary term when he's sentenced in July. Governor Jay Inslee signed a raft of bills on Thursday in Seattle designed to protect abortion care and access to gender-affirming medicine. Among other steps, the 5 new laws authorize the abortion drug mifepristone to be distributed by the state. It prohibits cooperation with other states that seek to prosecute abortion or gender-affirming care as a crime, and they protect the medical licenses of providers who provide those services.
This is a freedom from intrusion by any politician or any government in the most intimate private decision by a woman in the state of Washington. And we know, unfortunately, there are states across the country that are and will be attempting to put its tentacles into the state of Washington. We will not allow that. We know there are threats from some judicial decisions to threaten that right. We will not allow that.
Finally, on this Friday, yesterday, of course, day 1 of the 104th Washington State Apple Blossom Festival at the Memorial Park. The food fair is underway, and of course, Chief for a Day. Chief for a Day, celebrating chronically ill children by pairing them with a law enforcement agency where they can make big moves like choosing to honk the fire engine horn at the upcoming parade or commanding officers to do burpees. The 8 little chiefs, some of whom are Nintendo Switch champions and lovers of Bluey and Sonic the Hedgehog, were given custom uniforms, and they celebrated with cheers from classmates. They had their badges pinned on them by family members. The little chiefs were then sworn into office by Judge Robert Jordan, who delivered his oath while battling the sounds of fire trucks, as you will see here.
Do each of you solemnly swear or affirm that you are a citizen of Washington State in the United States of America, that you are legally qualified to assume the office of Chief for a Day, that you will defend and support the Constitution of the United States and the state of Washington, and that you will faithfully and impartially discharge the duties of your office? If you so swear or affirm, please say I do. Congratulations.
Sorry I missed it. I usually go to that every year. That's what's making news a quarter after the hour on this Friday. It's been a long week, but we have a good crew who puts together the news, and we will have one more newscast to get your weekend going at 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, and 10 o'clock on the NCW Life Channel TV. But you can also watch the news if you so desire via the World Wide Web. It'll be posted on our Facebook page, our YouTube page, and on our homepage, ncwlife.com. And don't forget, live coverage tomorrow of the Youth Parade will get going at 11 a.m. We are looking forward to that. And don't forget, get a hold of us. If there's something out there you think deserves folks knowing about it, let us know about it. That's what we do around here. When we come back, NFL Draft Round 1, Seahawks had pick number 5 and pick number 20. Who they picked, we'll tell you when we come back. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Life channel.
Shoot, I think I left my keys in the kitchen. Can you grab them?
Yep.
Find out?
What's this?
It's a locking bag. It keeps Grandma's medication safe.
But I could just take it.
Well, for one thing, it locks. And if it were gone, I know there's a problem.
Huh. Well played.
Help prevent opioid misuse before it starts. Visit getthefactsrx.com.
Ever wonder how wine gets from grape to glass? Chelan Ridge Winery is one of the largest wine production facilities in the valley and is now offering tours from grape to glass. Come on up and see how platinum level wines are made and then taste them for yourself.
Behind this door is one of Wenatchee's best kept secrets. Behind this door, you'll find things you can't find anywhere else. Behind this door is the new upgraded River House Cigar Bar. More of everything you come to love. The secret's out and the door is open.
Hi, everybody. Dan Kuntz alongside Jesse Coble from Alpine Air. There's ice on my heat pump and under my heat pump.
Well, ice under your heat pump is normal. When we go into a defrost cycle, it melts the frost off, creates water, which freezes to the ground. Ice around your heat pump is a thing that you should probably give us a call about.
Turn to the experts at Carrier and Alpine Air for heat and air. Call Alpine Air. Thanks, Jesse.
Thanks.
Did you know that nearly 50% of pet poisoning cases involve human medications and prescription drugs? Sometimes the culprit's a curious dog, but cats get into their share of trouble as well. Other times, pet owners mistakenly give their pets their own medications that are safe to people but toxic to their pets. Dr. Shauna Baez and her staff care about your pets. Go to pawsandclawsvh.com for a complete list of medications to avoid or call 888-PAWS.
Are you dealing with a pest or weed issue and you just don't know what to do?
We use the best pest control methods approved for areas with kids and pets.
Whether it's rats, mice, ants, or spiders,
or something else altogether, we provide the coaching and solutions you're looking for.
And you can know that your dollars are supporting a local, family-owned and operated business.
Allow us to help you get back to living healthy and pest-free. Harvest Valley Pest Control.
"18 minutes after the hour, the Seahawks surprised a few people in this very building by selecting a cornerback. In their first selection, they had the 5th overall pick in last night's NFL draft. His name is Devin Witherspoon. He's 6 feet tall, 180 pounds. He's a defensive back out of Illinois. Coach Pete Carroll says Witherspoon reminds him of a player he once coached that's now in the Hall of Fame.
Devin Witherspoon he's a rare player. And we've been through this draft since the years we've been here. We haven't seen a guy like this. And, we have not drafted corners high, and just because we haven't come across a guy of this makeup. And it's really it's his athletic ability, it's his speed, it's his playmaking, it's his mentality. Haven't come across a guy like this in a long time. Last time I recognized this kind of makeup was back at SC when we had a guy that you guys may know, Joey Polamalu, was a guy that had an extraordinary way about the way he played the game. And I saw this connection between what Devin does and how he looks at the game and how he approaches it that just knocked me out. And so I'm just really excited about this. He's physical, he's tough, he's got an attitude, he's going to bring it, he's going to fit in right with our guys, and it's a great matchup for us.
So that was the 5th overall selection. In the 20th overall selection, Seattle selected that guy, Ohio State wide receiver Jackson Smith-Njigba, who Coach Carroll expects to work in with the Seahawks' other 2 standout wide receivers.
To come up with Jackson to get this done, we've got two guys that we love the way they play, of course, in Tyler and DK. And we need another guy to fit in with them. It's the competition with the guys that we have here will be wide open. But we see Jackson fitting in as that third guy with those guys that will complement them and make them better. He can play right now. He'll be able to do everything that we want him to do. Had a marvelous workout at the school when we were there. Showed us the kinds of physical stuff that we needed to see for his stock, because he's got a unique way that he plays the game. Great catching range, great catcher, terrific feel, excellent competitor, can make all kinds of clutch plays, come through guy that I know Gino's just going to fall in love with. So we're really excited about what just happened. And Johnny he was working, man. He was working those phones. But it was right for us to stay right where we were, to get these guys. These were guys we were hoping we put on our team. And so really pumped up about this.
Seahawks General Manager John Schneider says the rather thorough pre-draft process that the Seahawks go through led them to selecting who they thought were the two best players available to them.
Got through the first round. Really excited about Devin and Jackson and what they're going to bring to this organization. Both big-time competitors. Devin, arguably one of the most physical players in the draft, regardless of position. And Jackson, big time production, and arguably the best receiver in this draft class. Well, in our opinion, he wasn't best.
Seahawks have more selections. The draft continues right through the weekend. They have 2 selections in today's second round, and then they'll finish with 6 more picks through the weekend. Stay close to your television. Seattle Kraken have a chance to clinch their first ever Stanley Cup playoff series at home tonight. They lead Colorado in the best-of-7 series, 3-2. Kraken hosts the Avalanche. Game 6 is tonight. Climate Pledge Arena. They'll drop the puck at 7 o'clock. It'll be on TNT and Root Sports Northwest. The Mariners lost a pitcher's duel in Philadelphia yesterday. The final was 1-0. Matt Strom and 4 relievers held Seattle to just 3 hits in the shutout. The Phillies take 2 of 3 in this series. Logan Gilbert was great. He did his job, pitched all 8 innings. He allowed just 1 run on 4 hits with 7 strikeouts. By the way, the game only took 2 hours and 4 minutes to play that game. I think that new clock is working. Seattle is in Toronto. Begins the first of 3 games today at 4:07 Root Sports Northwest. All right, Les Schwab Prep scoreboard from yesterday. Check out some of these rather lopsided baseball scores. Liberty Bell beat Oroville 28-7. Waterville Mansfield topped Pateros 17-3. Okanagan almost pitched a shutout. They blew out Bridgeport 33-7. Coming up on the schedule today, Quincy will host Omak in a doubleheader. That's at 3 o'clock. Lake Roosevelt will visit Brewster. These are all doubleheaders, by the way, with one exception. That's Pateros and Riverside Christian. All the other games, doubleheaders, including Eastmont at West Valley, and Moses Lake travels to take on Wenatchee at historic Recreation Park. Saturday's action gets underway at 11 with Shalana Cascade. Riverside Christian will host Pateros. Liberty Bell is at Tenasket, and Manson welcomes Bridgeport. 17, the magic number for a couple of softball teams yesterday. Afraid to beat Cascade 17-1. Okanagan blanked Bridgeport 17-zip. Doubleheaders in girls softball today, a lot of them. You got Omak at Quincy at 3. Brewster will host Lake Roosevelt, and Waterville Mansfield will visit Manson. At 3:30, you got Cascade taking on Chelan, and then at 4, you got West Valley at Eastmont, and Wenatchee visits Moses Lake. Coming up tomorrow, Moses Lake is at Mount Si for a doubleheader beginning at 10:30. At 11 a.m. is Warden at Okanagan. Tenasca will host Liberty Bell. Bridgeport is at Manson. To the pitch we go yesterday. In boys soccer, Sela edged Freda 3-2. Kashmir dumped Quincy 2-0. Tenasca topped Liberty Bell 5-3. It was Okanagan over Oroville 2-0, and Bridgeport blanked Pateros 9-0. The schedule today, Cascade is at Omak at 4. Tenasca welcomes Oroville at 5. At 7 at Sunnyside at Eastmont. Davis plays at Moses Lake. Tomorrow at 11 o'clock, you got Warden at Omak, Okanagan hosting Pateros, Brewster's at Liberty Bell, Bridgeport will host Manson, Kashmir will be at LaSalle tomorrow afternoon at 1 o'clock. Track and field, a couple of big meets today at 3:30. Teams are gathering for the Connell Invitation at 4 o'clock in Peshastin. Cascade hosts the Riki Invitation, and the Wenatchee Valley Skyhawks have a non-league game tomorrow night at the Town Toyota Center. They will host the Spokane Wolfpack at 7 o'clock. Those are just some of the games that people are playing on this Friday. I could have chosen for the obscure holiday National Great Poetry Reading Day. Poetry is one of those, poetry deserves to be read out loud, for the most part. National Blueberry Pie Day. It is Arbor Day, by the way, this 28th day of April, but today we celebrate superheroes. It's National Superhero Day. Somewhere in that montage behind me is your superhero. I think everybody has one. I don't know. Not surprisingly, National Superhero Day was started in the 90s by Marvel Comics. Marvel Comics, who owns, let's see, they own, who do they own? They own Spider-Man, Thor, Iron Man. They have the rights to Black Widow, Captain Marvel, the Fantastic Four, the Avengers, and the X-Men. That all belongs to Marvel Comics. But then you have DC Comics, who have three of the real big ones, Superman, Batman, and Wonder Woman. They all belong to DC Comics, created by DC Comics anyway. The first superhero, comic superhero, 1936, the Phantom. The first superhero to have his own comic strip in U.S. newspapers. Nobody knows what happened to the Phantom anymore. My superhero, Underdog. Underdog. And his girlfriend, Sweet Polly Purebred. 26 minutes after the hour. Today in history, happy birthday, Maryland. Not a big fan of that flag. I love Maryland, great state. Baltimore is a great town. I love the crab cakes, but that flag, way too busy there, guys. Come on, tone it down. Maryland becomes the 7th state to ratify the Constitution. On this date in 1788, that makes Maryland 235 years old today. It's known as the Old Line State. I don't know what that means. Maryland they are number one. They have the highest median household income of any state. They are number one on that list. The largest independent city in the U.S. is Baltimore. Baltimore is a standalone city. They are not part of a county. They are the largest independent city in the U.S. is Baltimore. The official state sport of Maryland is jousting. Maryland lawmakers, for about 40 years, tried to get rid of the Maryland state song. Last year, they finally got around to doing it. The Maryland state song before last year was sung to the tune of O Tannenbaum. It was called Maryland, My Maryland. It was written by a Confederate War sympathizer during the Civil War, and basically the old Maryland national anthem that they got rid of last year was one long rant about this guy's hatred of Abraham Lincoln, the Union, and all things North. The original lyrics called Lincoln a tyrant. All members of the Union Army were scum. And Maryland, My Maryland, with its original lyrics, was adopted as the Maryland state song in 1939. They got rid of it last year. Happy birthday, Maryland, but seriously, do something with the flag. Just not working for me. This is the 234th anniversary of the Mutiny on the Bounty. William Bligh and 18 sailors loyal to William Bligh were set adrift. There you go. Good luck. In the middle of the South Pacific, and the rest of the crew, of course, headed off to Pitcairn Island. The amazing thing is that William Bligh, on just a little bitty lifeboat with 19 people on board and barely enough provisions to feed half of them, actually made it to shore safely someplace. They all lived. That's hard to believe. It's an amazing feat there. Of course, there are about 50 direct descendants of the mutineers on the Bounty that still live on Pitcairn Island in the South Pacific. They set them adrift 234 years ago today. The first movie, Mutiny on the Bounty, with Clark Gable was really good. The remake with Marlon Brando, not so much. 56 years ago today, Muhammad Ali said, "I ain't going into the Army." He said, I beat people up for a living, but I'm not going to kill them. And the Army said, if you won't kill them, we won't let you beat them up. Muhammad Ali refuses his induction into the United States Army. He is subsequently stripped of his ability to make a living. They took away his championship, and all the boxing authorities in all the states took away his license. You need to get a state license because boxing is boxing. It's legal assault. So they have boxing commissions, and every one of them stripped him of his license, and he was unable to fight for a long time. He said, I ain't going to do it. That was 56 years ago today. And wow, this is not supposed to happen on an airplane. Airplanes are not convertibles. April 28th, 1988, between Honolulu and Maui, flight attendant Clarabelle C.B. Lansing is blown out of Aloha Airlines Flight 243, a Boeing 737. She falls to her death. Her body was never found. The fuselage rips open in mid-flight. Here's a news report.
Around 2 in the afternoon on April 28, 1988, Aloha Airlines Flight 243 makes an emergency landing at Kahului Airport on Maui.
What really got us was people strapped in the seats, not moving. They're just arms dangling in the air, hair flying in the wind.
The top of the Boeing 737 peeled back like a canned good, turning the plane into a convertible. The plane had left Hilo and was heading to Honolulu when about 20 minutes into the flight, there was what sounded like an explosion. Flight attendant Clarabelle C.B. Lansing was sucked out of the plane. She had been with Aloha Airlines for 37 years. The plane landed at Kahului Airport about 10 minutes later. 60 people were taken to the hospital. Lansing's body was never recovered. The other 4 crew members survived, as well as all of the 89 passengers, thanks to Captain Bob Schornsteimer and First Officer Mimi Tompkins.
The way the plane was and the way he landed it was so perfect that it's one mistake that thing could have just broke right in half.
Mostly skill and partly luck, a major disaster averted. Certainly a day people in Hawaii won't ever forget.
Yet another one of the reasons why whenever I'm on an airline flight, I always have my seatbelt on. 31 minutes after the hour. Birthdays, just like we always do states on Today in History, we always do presidents on birthdays. The 5th president of the United States did a pretty good job, most historians agree, James Monroe. Born in this date in 1758, died in 1831 at the age of 73. Responsible, his name is on the Monroe Doctrine, but he didn't actually do it. It was John Quincy Adams who actually came up with the Monroe Doctrine, but he gets credit for it. He was the very last president who served his military in the Revolutionary War. He was the last president never to be photographed. Every president since James Monroe had his picture taken at least once. He was the only president besides George Washington who ran unopposed. In the 1820 presidential election, nobody took him on. He just cakewalked, went all the way. Ironically enough, he was considered a dead ringer for George Washington. A lot of people thought he looks a lot like George, and he did look a lot like George. But poor James Monroe married a beautiful woman, had 2 beautiful daughters who were snobs. They put on airs. Nobody liked his wife and his 2 daughters, who basically spent all of his money. And just before James Monroe died, the United States Congress just gave him $30,000 because he didn't have any money. His wife and 2 daughters spent all of his dough. They just gave him $30,000 so the obituaries wouldn't say that the 5th president of the United States died without any money. James Monroe, born in the state in 1758. And Margaret, Anne-Margaret, there she is, 82 years old today, born in Sweden. Her father immigrated to the United States, and then he said, all right, come on over, Anne. And she went to the United States in November of 1946 at the age of 5. And the day she got into New York City and arrived in the United States, her dad took her as a treat to Radio City Music Hall for a big show. She was 5 years old, and she watched the show, and she said, when I grow up, I want to do that for a living. And Margaret is 82 years old. Happy 73rd to Jay Leno, host of The Tonight Show, took over from Johnny Carson in 1992, host of The Tonight Show from 1992 to 2009. Then the ill-fated Jay Leno Show, you remember that, which lasted about 4 minutes. And then he went back to hosting The Tonight Show because they fired Conan O'Brien. It was pretty ugly. But he's been off The Tonight Show now for almost 10 years. Jay Leno owns 286 vehicles. That's 285 more than I have. Jay Leno, 73 years old today, and happy 57th to John Daly. Burst on the scene at the 1991 PGA Championship at Crooked Stick, blew everybody away, became for golfers, like this guy hit the ball a mile and a half. And of course, he won the 1995 Open Championship. Big John, 57 years old today. It's 35 minutes after the hour. Pat Quinn Williams, I love Pat. She's been helping organize the local chapter of the Walk MS Wenatchee, which is coming up, by the way, on the Saturday before Mother's Day. She wants you to get signed up. She wants you to participate. She wants you to fundraise. We love Pat. My conversation with Pat is coming up. Plus, Mike McNaughty has an opinion. You're watching a Friday edition of Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Life Channel.
My name is Anna Marie. I've lived at Prestige here for 6.5 years, and I love it. They just made you feel so welcome. I love my room. I get 3 meals a day, do as I darn well want to. I've loved it ever since I moved in.
Mom's a wonderful, wonderful lady. She deserved the very best, and I got it for her here at Prestige.
Hey there, folks. Blueberry Carrie here to invite you on out to experience Blueberry Hills. Of course, the food is fabulous, like our cheese splints, our famous French dip, our legendary Eggs Benedict, and unforgettable burgers. But we're more than just great food. People come from all over the world to experience what's been called one of the best destination restaurants in the Pacific Northwest. So come on out and see what all the fuss is about. Blueberry Hills in Manson. It's where the world is coming to.
We were in Roseburg in the early 80s. Our oldest son, Dan, was a defensive back, a starter on that team. They in fact, became Oregon State champions, setting the first undefeated 14-0 season in Oregon's history. And our kids still talk about that. I go back now, too, and I think about all those great days and great times. The neat thing is that we can go back in today and still enjoy the same quality food that we enjoyed 50 years ago. That's legendary.
The newest generation of GMC Sierra pickups offer the most advanced technology, the strongest selection of powertrain, and everything else you need to work hard, play hard, and explore the boundaries of the Wenatchee Valley and beyond. Take a look at the latest, most luxurious and durable trucks on the market.
You will see why GMC is not your grandfather's pickup.
You want to bet, kid?
Bring the whole family up to Stormy Mountain Brewing and local public house in historic downtown Chelan. Applewood smoked brisket, street-style tacos, and our award-winning barbecue rubs and sauces. Our meals pair perfectly with our exciting lineup of craft ales, made right here in Chelan. We've got room for big groups, or give us a call for catering. So grab the kids and check out the fun at Stormy Mountain Brewing and local public house located in the heart of Chelan.
What's the best way to attract a wide variety of beautiful birds to your backyard? By offering the birds the right foods in expertly designed bird feeders from Wild Birds Unlimited. Whether you've been feeding the birds for a while or are just getting started, let our backyard bird feeding specialists show you how to add a little joy to your life and make nature a part of every day. Shop now for exclusive bird foods, feeders, hardware, and more. Wild Birds Unlimited. Products designed by experts. Trusted local advice.
Hey, this is Mike, Mad Dog McNutty, and everybody is entitled to my opinion. Now, I've always been pretty conservative, going back to my long hair hippie days, and I guess I always will be, but for the last 2 presidential elections, I did not vote Republican. And if what's-his-face is the nominee this time around, I won't vote Republican again. Now, some of my Democrat friends will say, oh, you're finally coming around. Well, the truth is, I'm not coming anywhere. I haven't changed much at all. Quite frankly, it's the Republican Party that's changed, and they're driving me away. And the Democrats haven't been all that attractive either. And I don't think I'm the only one who thinks this way. This is Mike, Mad Dog McNutty, and everybody is entitled to my opinion.
When Mike leaves town, it's a little scary. You never know who might be outside. But we feel safer inside knowing our home is being monitored by a local company. I can check our alarm from just about anywhere. So when we get home, I know it's safe.
Protect your family and save money with a local company. Switch your current security monitoring to Guardian Services from LocalTel. Call Guardian Security from LocalTel now or visit localtel.net to learn more.
If you are looking for dependable car service and repair, visit the good guys at Quick Lube and Tune. They've been keeping cars and trucks in the Wenatchee Valley running smooth for 35 years. Quick Lube and Tune is your hometown shop for a 10-minute oil change, complete tune-ups, alignments, brakes, mufflers, air conditioning service, and more. Get more life out of your vehicle by bringing it to the local guys you can trust at Quick Lube and Tune on South Wenatchee Avenue.
The Washington State Apple Blossom Festival is here, and NCW Life Channel has you covered. Join us for the Stamilk Growers Grand Parade Saturday, May 6th at 11 a.m. Coverage is brought to you by Bob's Apple Barrel Bark, Coldwell Banker Cascade, Global Car Care, Kennedy Real Estate Group, and Prestige Senior Living at East Wenatchee. NCW Life Channel, your official Washington State Apple Blossom Festival TV station. Getting ready for the boating season is easy with the help of Bob File Boats and Motors. With marine technology changing fast, the service department stays up to date with the newest developments and factory certifications. They have what it takes to make boating fun and hassle-free for the season. Speaking of hassle-free, now's the time to get your boat ready for summer. Remember that starter that wouldn't start or trailer lights that didn't work? Don't be left on shore. Call Bob File's service department today and get ready for summer fun.
I chose a career at Confluence Health because I wanted to help people, and I knew there would be opportunities for growth. I started as a medical assistant, but quickly advanced in my career. I received 5 promotions in only 7 years, 3 of those in management roles. Most organizations don't offer that type of growth. Now, as a career pathway coordinator, I let everyone know. Come join Confluence Health. Come grow with us.
At Washington Trust Bank, can't is a 4-letter word.
I think we should hire more people.
Doc, late for a meeting.
Hey, we need to build a home office. We're adding another bathroom.
We need a warehouse.
I can't imagine how we do that.
We believe you can do whatever you set your mind to, and we'll help you get there. Washington Trust Bank, privately owned, locally invested.
NAMI, the National Alliance on Mental Illness, is the nation's largest grassroots mental health organization, dedicated to building better lives for the millions of Americans affected by mental illness. NAMI envisions a world where all people affected by mental illness live healthy, fulfilling lives supported by a community that cares. We have resources for you and can't wait to become an extension of your family. We are here for a healthier world. We are here for better mental health. We are here for each other. Join us.
Back out of here on Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. I'm trying to remember, Pat Quinn Williams, how many interviews I have done with you about the Walk MS Wenatchee between radio and television. Probably a dozen, maybe more.
Oh, maybe at least 30.
Yeah, it seems that way, doesn't it?
Started with radio, now we moved to TV.
Pat is like Darcy Christopherson and Gene Sherritt. You just can't say no to these people when Pat gets a hold of you and says, hey, May 13th is coming up. Are you going to do me a favor, Dan? I said, of course I will, because we love you, Pat. We love the organization.
Thank you.
Walk MS Wenatchee is back on the 13th day of May. Let's start out with a quick Rich update. Rich is her husband. This is how she got involved in all of this. He was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis 40 years ago?
50.
50 years ago.
50 now.
But he's doing great.
Yes, we just had a great visit with his doctor in Seattle on last Wednesday. Found out that he hasn't had an active lesion in 9 years. So the drug is doing what it's supposed to do.
That is remarkable. And once this drug was rolled out about a decade ago, they put him on that regime right from the get-go.
Because it's a pill form, right. And they keep coming up. They've got 2 new drugs that people only need a couple infusions a year on them. And so I really recommend, if you get MS, get on a drug right away.
Right away. And this is critically important to say, oh, gee, it's another Walk MS. They haven't figured this baby out yet, but they keep making progress.
Yes.
So the donations that you're going to be raising on the 13th, that's working. That research money, and they're making progress.
It is, and it shows that, Washington State has a lot of people with MS, and fortunately for us, a lot of the money goes right to Seattle to work there at UW.
Yeah, because you mentioned Rich's specialist, MS specialist, is in Seattle, and the state raises more than anybody else in the MS Walk. Spokane and Seattle do great guns because, as we mentioned, especially the Spokane area, the Inland Northwest, an insanely high ratio of people end up with multiple sclerosis for reasons they really don't know why.
Still haven't pinpointed it. Right, we're on the right latitude, that we have the right type of population, but the thing is now they're finding kids like 10 and 11 years old that are getting MS, and they're able to already diagnose it that young.
Now this I did not know. I mean, I don't associate MS with your teenage years. I associate that with middle-aged, or you
right.
just as you get older, even if you have not much symptoms, they get worse.
Right, and they've got such good diagnostics now that they're starting to find that, like you said, teenagers they're like, why am I so tired? I don't have this, I don't have that, and so it's good that they can find out earlier and get on some medicine, but sorry that they have it so young also.
Yeah, it's kind of a catch-22.
Catch-22, yes.
They have the ability to diagnose it at a younger age, but you got MS at a younger age.
Right, yeah.
Kind of. May 13th, right here at Walla Walla Point Park is where we're at. You probably figured that out yet. Before we get into more of the details, give folks some of just the basic outline of what this is, the Walk MS Wenatchee, which has been going on for as long as I've known you.
Right. For over 30 years, we've had the Walk MS, and it's been down here. One of the main things is, for the second year in a row, it's going to be at 10 a.m. So they open up at 8, and I know it's early, especially people come from Ellensburg, maybe the Okanagan, but we're hoping you still come down. Bring your moms this year. That's what, Mother's Day, a nice fun day at the park. And we start at, like I said, we'll start at 10, bring a donation, bring your friends, family. And it's a great walk.
I'm guaranteeing you great weather, too.
Thank you. Yeah, we need weather just like this. Would be perfect.
It would be absolutely perfect. They've been doing this for a gazillion years. No sponsors and no volunteers. It does not happen without those two people. Some folks specifically that you want to thank?
Again, because I'm not in charge anymore,
Except
supposedly,
here she is.
but here I am, yes. I think they've gone with some of the regulars, the Weinstein, the Crunch Pack, and Liberty Orchards, of course.
Always a big sponsor.
Yes.
You're doing good fundraising-wise, but our mutual friend, Candy Johnson, I checked this morning on the Walk MS Wenatchee website. She's kicking your butt on money-wise.
She is, and I'm letting her just do that this year. I'm going slow, but my friends that I have contacted, I need you to get that donation into me.
And it's just a donation. You can, the donation is nice, but if you want to come down here and walk and show support, that's even better.
That would even be better, yeah. I would really
better.
like that. The more people we can get here, the better.
Start-finish line, and I use that term loosely. It's not a race. They're not handing out ribbons. Nobody gets a trophy. It's right here at Picnic Shelter number 1 at Walla Walla Point Park. You can't miss it. And I like this 10 a.m. start. You can come. You can get a little exercise in. You can help a good cause. You can go out and
get out and have the rest of your day and spend it with Mom.
Yeah, there you go.
Bring Mom and everybody. Yeah, and like I said, we're just looking forward. We're hoping more people. This is only the second year since COVID. So people are a little slow coming back, so I'm hoping that people will show up this year. And let's get a lot of new people. We've gotten a brand new team from Ellensburg, and they've already raised like $12,000 or $13,000. And so we're really excited about that. So come on, Wenatchee, we can show up Ellensburg.
Pat, it's not a competition.
I know it's not, but we're the main place here.
Yeah, there you go. And this is the Wenatchee chapter, which basically goes from the Canadian border down to Ellensburg, right?
Yes.
Pretty much? Yeah, to that
and
area.
out to Moses Lake. And so we have a big area, but again, a big area, not as many people, so we've got to show them. We've beaten the Tri-Cities in previous years of donating, so we need the Wenatchee spirit here again.
Let's. How do people sign up? How do they participate? Where do they go? What do they do?
Okay, you can go to www.walkms.org, and you can put in Washington State and the Wenatchee Walk, and it will take you right to the spot to sign up. And again, you can make a donation. You can look up one of our teams, make one to somebody that's already signed up. Show up, make a donation.
How do you get a shirt?
Get a shirt, $100.
That's not bad.
No, it's not. That's one donation.
And that's a nice shirt too, I might add.
Thank you.
That's a
We
nice
haven't
shirt.
had this orange one in a while. They've been white, but I'm hoping they bring back an
It's
orange.
as simple as that. That's all you got to do.
That's all it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And again, you don't have to participate, but you might as well do it, right? And this is usually, if I remember correctly, I've been here years past. It's kind of a party.
Right, and it's a 1 mile, 2 mile, or 3 mile, whatever you want to do. We have people in walkers, we have people in wheelchairs, families come out. So yeah, like I said, they make it a party. We don't have to worry about the marathon this year, so which is one good thing. So we pretty much have the park to ourselves.
Maybe the only thing that's really changed in the years past, they keep moving the date on Pat.
Yes.
The date keeps changing. And this year is Saturday before Mother's Day. It doesn't matter. It's all for a good cause.
Yeah.
It's all for a good cause. I'm glad Rich is doing well.
Oh, so am I.
Yeah.
It was very, very good news. And, you know, like I said, and like you said, we're getting the money, we're getting the donations. They're coming up with drugs that are helping, and it's getting better each time. We're getting closer to a cure.
Yeah, and there's a lot of diseases, either immune or communicable, that they're getting nowhere on. MS, they're making progress on.
And it's like with a lot of other diseases, like you said, somebody finds something for one. Oh, it doesn't work for that. Oh, let's try it here. And that's kind of where they came up with some of the MS drugs. Also, they were used for rheumatoid arthritis, and they tried it, and it works. So
that's how we figure these things out,
yes.
folks. Walk MS Wenatchee again Saturday, May 13th. The site opens at 8:30. They start walking at 10. And I think we got everything. We got everything.
I think that's all for today. Yeah.
It's always
we
good
just
to
want to
see
you. We just want to see more people out.
And you would be amazed about how many people don't even know about this, and they show up to just enjoy a beautiful day at Walla Walla Point Park and walk along the river, and they go, what the hell's going on over there? And they ended up writing you guys checks or giving you cash or even participating.
Yeah.
We've seen it right there.
Yeah.
So
it's great.
Maybe my favorite.
I know.
Yeah. Pat Quinn Williams, always a friend of ours. Always good to see you.
You too. Thank you.
Say hi to your lovely husband for me.
I will.
All right. You watch him Wake Up in Wenatchee Valley. We'll be right back.
Thank you.
At D.A. Davidson in Wenatchee, they believe your investment success begins with a personalized plan. A plan that is the roadmap you need to navigate your way to living your best years in retirement. D.A. Davidson can help you create a plan so you can take the time to enjoy the finer things in life. Let the financial advisors at D.A. Davidson help chart your retirement future today.
Hi, my car's making a funny noise.
Not a problem. We'll take care of you.
Global Car Care's technicians are ASE Master Techs and well versed in the more refined methods of vehicular diagnostics.
Number 3 piston and rings have a slight loss of compression, down to 108 pounds. Your transmission is slipping. You're gonna need a service.
Looks like you all set.
These guys? They're good.
Oh, and your spare is flat.
Global Car Care, Wenatchee's top shop.
When your heating or cooling system is giving you trouble, call the Diagnostic Doctor from Dick's Heating and Air Conditioning.
Here's the culprit right here.
All joking aside, when you call Dick's, you're calling 35 years of experience at customer service right here in the Wenatchee Valley. Dick's strongly believes in repairing before replacing, and they service all major brands of HVAC units.
Coming this May to the stunning mountain town of Leavenworth, Washington, imagine Rotary Reimagined, a new way to conference. Imagine you here experiencing the live community impact event, the Team Design Challenge, life-changing presentations from mountaineering legend Ed Viesters and Olympic gold medalist Keegan Randall, a private concert appearance by the award-winning Paperboys. Imagine the impact of reimagining Rotary for good and for all. Coming May 19th through the 21st. Register today for discounted pricing at RotaryReimagined.com.
Welcome back to this Friday edition of Wake Up in Wenatchee Valley in a beautiful, beautiful morning. Just gorgeous out there. 50 degrees here in the big city. Elsewhere out in the basin, Freddie, you're at 54. Up in Omak, 52 degrees. Manson's the cool spot right now at 45. Downtown Dryden, 47. Suburban Dryden, 47 as well. We have a little time, and it's such a beautiful morning. We thought we'd take another tour around the area with our cameras around the valley. Once again, the Wenatchee Heights camera directly behind me is now directly in front of you. And you can tell that the Columbia River is running fast because you can see the little ripples in the river. Now, of course, the Columbia River is just a series of reservoirs now with all the dams that are in there. It doesn't flow anything like it used to before the dams began to go in. But if you see the little ripples there on the Columbia River right next to the pedestrian pipeline bridge, it tells you that he's running pretty good. Got a pretty good clip to her. We'll get more on that in just a couple of minutes. Uriah said during the commercial break, I'll just know when the cameras come up. So obviously that's the Las Vegas Strip. It's not? Okay, it's number 1 Canyon. Number 1 Canyon camera. That is 5th Street. That long ribbon of asphalt that you see, you can make out the campus of Wenatchee Valley College. Sun this morning got up at 5:49. I got up before that. Sunset tonight, 8:08. 14 hours and 19 minutes of daylight. We like that. Camera number 3. Omi Gardens. Hello, Omi Gardens. Good to see you. Look how green the hills are getting on the East Wenatchee side of the river. That's a good looking scene right there, and still a little bit of snow up Clockham Way. Good morning to the Omi Gardens area. Boy, this will be a great weekend to visit Omi Gardens. They're just blooming all over the place up there. Love that place. Finally, our 4th camera. There it is. Beautiful New Orleans, Louisiana. There's the French Quarter, and you can see the that is not. That is Jump Off Ridge. It wasn't that long ago when we used that camera, there was snow up there. And it wasn't that long ago. You can see almost all of the East Wenatchee Bench all the way to the very top of the plateau from that incredible view from Jump Off Ridge. The Stemilt Basin down there as well. Just a little sliver of Wenatchee Heights, and you can see the cell phone tower there on your very far left-hand side of the screen. And good morning to our friends in Malaga, the gateway to the Clockham. Beautiful views there. Going to take one more little break and give you a weather forecast I think you're going to like. It's next. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Life Channel.
In the market for an RV? Do not buy any RV before you shop Clickin' RV. Because Clickin' RV has just acquired over 300 2022 fifth wheels, travel trailers, toy haulers, and motorhomes. And everyone is just $199 over invoice. And take advantage of 0 down, no payments for 90 days, and low interest financing. Plus guaranteed lowest price and lifetime warranty. So don't miss the Clickin' RV Do Not Buy sale. Going on now at all 5 locations, including right here in Moses Lake.
Ever wonder how wine gets from grape to glass? Chelan Ridge Winery is one of the largest wine production facilities in the valley and is now offering tours from grape to glass. Come on up and see how platinum level wines are made and then taste them for yourself.
Behind this door is one of Wenatchee's best kept secrets. Behind this door, you'll find things you can't find anywhere else. Behind this door is the new upgraded River House Cigar Bar. More of everything you come to love. The secret's out and the door is open.
All right, let's wrap up a week's worth of Wake Up Wenatchee Valleys with a couple of things we want to pass along to you. First of all, after all that cool, unseasonably cool weather in April earlier on in this month, and it was very cool. We went a long time without ever getting close to our normal high temperatures. That kind of slowed down the snow melting process. That has since accelerated quite a bit with the sunny and mild weather and even warmer weather expected today, and very much so on Saturday, slightly cooler on Sunday, but it's warm everywhere, and that means that snow is melting, and that melted snow eventually makes it into creeks, which makes it into rivers and streams. So a friendly reminder, they're going to be running hard and running fast. A couple of them are going to get pretty much close to bankful, especially the Okanagan River, the Stehekin River, as a distinct possibility. The Wenatchee River that I checked where it goes through Monitor, they have a measuring device there. It's rolling pretty good. So is the Aniat River as it empties into the Columbia. So a lot of the rivers are running fast and they're roaring in a few locations. I got some friends who live up the Aniat. They said, yeah, it's going pretty good right now. So just a heads up, and this is going to continue for quite some time, all the way into next week, because we're going to start seeing temperatures above normal. Normal high this time of the year is 66. We're going to be well above 66 for our afternoon highs right through the forecast period, and it looks something like that. Sunshine, high of 79. Yesterday we hit 73. We'll be warmer than that today. We're off to a warmer start already. 56 for the overnight low tonight. That's mild. 2 records could be broken on Saturday. Our forecast high is 86. Our record high on April 29th is 84. So that's a possibility. And that 59-degree overnight low Saturday night into Sunday morning could also set a record for the warmest overnight low. So both of those are a distinct possibility, and it looks pretty good for Sunday, too. That's it for us. Don't forget, Youth Parade on TV tomorrow. Till then, bye-bye.